All right, so we're diving back into James Cobham's Nursery of the Gods, picking up right where we left off in our exploration of near-death experiences. Last time we kind of unpacked some of those common threads in those seeing the light moments.
Yeah.
But hold on to your hats, because today things get really wild.
It is fascinating, when you look at how these experiences ripple outward, it's not just how people view death, it's their entire approach to living that shifts.
It's like NDEs are less about the end and more about hitting the cosmic reset button on your whole outlook,
Exactly. And one of the most intriguing aspects that Cobbin really delves into is this whole idea of encountering deceased loved ones, but with a twist. It's not just any departed soul you might bump into.
Yep.
It's specifically those who've already passed before the NDE.
Okay, so that already has my brain doing backflips.
Yeah.
What does that even mean about the nature of time and awareness in that realm?
Right. It suggests this level of perception that goes way beyond our everyday understanding.
Yeah.
And it gets even weirder. When you consider Van Lommel's research, he talks about this man who was in a coma and he met his parents' friend.
Mm-hmm.
And
Was it one of those little did he know situations?
totally. Unbeknownst to this guy in the coma, the friend had actually just died. So it's like his consciousness was already tapping into this reality where that passing had occurred, even though it hadn't registered in normal time yet.
Okay, someone cued the spooky music.
Yeah.
Because that is seriously mind-bending.
Oh, absolutely. And it ties into a concept that Cobbin explores from the writer Jane Roberts, who channeled an entity called Seth.
Mm-hmm.
And Seth describes the afterlife as this no-pretense zone,
Okay.
where true feelings and motivations are just out in the open.
Oh, wow. So no more putting on a brave face or sugarcoating things, just raw, authentic connection.
Precisely. And when you think about the telepathic communication that's often reported in these NDEs, it suggests that in this realm, we're interacting on a much deeper, more transparent level than we can even imagine here.
That's both comforting and terrifying all at the same time. Imagine all your emotional baggage just laid bare.
Yeah.
No wonder people come back changed.
Right.
Speaking of transformative encounters, we have to talk about the big one, the being of light.
Yeah. And it's not just some hazy glow in the distance either.
Right.
People consistently describe this presence as a source of pure, unconditional love and acceptance. Often, they are interpreting it through the lens of their existing belief system.
So, if you grew up Catholic, you might perceive it as an angel, while somebody else might see, a spirit guide, or even just a being of pure energy.
Exactly. And here's where things go from 0 to 60 in about 2 seconds flat. NDers often describe instantaneous telepathic knowledge downloads from this being.
Wait, like a cosmic Wikipedia binge, but all at once.
Basically, it's like being plugged into the universal mainframe, the meaning of life, the workings of the universe, all downloaded in an instant. Van Lommel shares a particularly powerful first-hand account from somebody who described being bathed in this overwhelming love and suddenly understanding everything from their own personal struggles to the grand scheme of existence.
Wow. Talk about a perspective shift.
Yeah.
And as if meeting departed loved ones and having a heart-to-heart with the being of pure light wasn't enough, then there's the life review.
Right.
And let me tell you, this one is a doozy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's often described as this panoramic replay of a person's entire life, but with a truly mind-blowing twist.
Okay.
Imagine reliving every decision, every interaction, but this time you feel the impact of your actions on others, both the good and the bad.
Okay. That's intense. I don't know about you, but some days I can barely handle seeing today's impact on others,
Right.
let alone a lifetime's worth.
It's a lot to process, but here's the kicker. It's not about punishment or judgment. NDers consistently report this feeling of deep understanding, of seeing the interconnectedness of all things.
Okay.
It's like holding up the tapestry of your life and understanding how each thread, each choice, created that final pattern.
So no cosmic scorecard, just pure, unfiltered self-awareness.
Precisely. And that seems to be where the real transformation begins, in that space of radical honesty and seeing the ripple effect of our choices. One person in Van Lommel's book described feeling the actual pain and frustration they'd caused someone, even though at the time they hadn't even realized they were hurting them.
Wow, talk about an emotional wake-up call. It makes you think twice about that snarky comment or that time you cut somebody off in traffic. But let me guess. There's even more to this NDE roller coaster.
Oh, you're catching on. If reliving your past wasn't wild enough,
Right.
Cobbin explores how some NDers report glimpsing future events. But it's not as simple as seeing a fixed destiny play out.
Oh, so it's not like those cheesy fortune teller scenes in movies.
Not even close. This is where the idea of probable futures comes in. Think of it like those choose-your-own-adventure books.
Okay.
Multiple possibilities branching out, each one a potential path depending on the choices you make.
Hold on. Are you saying our future isn't set in stone? That we actually have a say in which path we end up on?
That's exactly what this suggests. It's like our thoughts, our beliefs, even our subconscious expectations can influence which of those probable futures we are drawn toward.
Okay, mind officially blown.
Mm.
So it's not just about seeing the future. It's about realizing we have the power to shape it with our actions, our thoughts, even just how we view the world.
You got it. It's
Yeah.
a powerful concept, and it aligns with what we're learning about, quantum physics, the observer effect.
Right.
We're not just passive passengers on this ride. We are active participants, shaping our reality with every choice we make.
Talk about a paradigm shift.
Yeah.
Suddenly, free will seems a lot less theoretical and a lot more, well, real. But if we're going to keep riding this NDE roller coaster, I have to ask about that in-between space Cobbin talks about. The borderland, between life and death.
Yeah. It's a common motif in these NDE accounts, encountering some kind of threshold,
Right.
a point of no return.
Okay.
But here's the thing. It's often described as a totally welcoming,
Yeah.
even blissful experience.
So not exactly the Grim Reaper vibe I had going on in my head.
Right.
But if it's so inviting, why not just cross over?
Well, many describe this deep knowing,
Okay.
that doing so means leaving their physical body behind for good.
Okay.
Some even report being given a choice to stay or to return.
I can't even imagine. To be at that crossroads, feeling that pull towards something bigger, is both beautiful and heartbreaking.
Yeah. Cobbin mentions an account from Van Lommel's book that really stuck with me. One person described the border as feeling like a homecoming after this long, tiring journey. They could have easily stepped through that gate, but the thought of their young family drew them back.
Oh, wow. That just gave me chills. It speaks to the power of love and connection, even in the face of something so vast and unknown.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, the more we talk about the peace and understanding people find in that realm,
Yeah.
the tougher it is to imagine coming back.
Right. It's almost understandable that many NDers find that return to the physical body jarring,
Yeah.
even frustrating.
Yeah.
Imagine going from pure bliss, total clarity,
Right.
and then, bam, you're back in your body with
Yeah.
all its limitations and, let's be real, sometimes aches and pains.
It's like waking up from the best dream ever to the sound of your alarm clock blaring.
Totally.
No wonder some people are less than thrilled about that transition.
No kidding. There is a quote from an NDEer in Van Lommel's book that captures it perfectly. He says, "Back to the pain and to the doctor's deafening screams and slaps, I'm furious, incredibly furious."
Wow.
It really highlights that stark contrast between those two realms and the challenges of integrating such a profound experience back into ordinary life.
Okay, so that brings us to the heart of this deep dive. The long-lasting transformations that Cobbin explores. And I gotta say, so far it seems like a given that these experiences would leave a mark.
Right. We're not talking about some fleeting sense of peace or a temporary mood boost. This is about fundamental shifts in how people view themselves, their relationships, their entire purpose in being here.
So are we talking about specific personality changes?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it more about, like, a shift in their overall outlook?
It can be both, actually.
Right.
But one of the most common transformations, and perhaps the most understandable, is losing the fear of death. If you've stared into that abyss and found something other than oblivion, it's bound to change your perspective.
Makes sense. Death goes from being this big, scary unknown to, well, maybe just another chapter in a much longer story.
Right, and it's not just about the absence of fear. Many NDers describe this newfound certainty about the continuation of consciousness beyond the physical body.
Okay.
It's no longer a belief or a hope,
Right.
but a direct knowing rooted in their own experience.
Wow, that's huge. But it begs the question, if those fears fall away, what takes their place? What motivates someone who no longer sees death as the end of the line?
That's where we see some of the most inspiring transformations. Cobbin talks about how many NDers report this surge in self-acceptance and self-love.
Okay.
They've seen themselves, flaws and all, from
Mhm.
this much higher perspective.
Right.
And somehow that allows them to fully embrace their whole being.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like that saying, you can't truly love others until you love yourself. If you've experienced that kind of unconditional acceptance in the great beyond, it must be a game changer for how you view yourself and everyone around you.
Exactly. And that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the profound and often unexpected ways that NDEs can reshape a person's life.
Well, I, for one, am ready to dive deeper. Let's unpack some more of these transformations. What are we waiting for? It's interesting, you frame that as NDEs as signposts,
Yeah.
because for many, they seem less like a neat ending point and more like a starting pistol for a whole new race.
Right.
We've talked about these big shifts in values, the psychic stuff, but what about concrete changes in how people actually live their lives after these experiences?
That's where it gets really practical and where we see these transformations playing out in the real world. Remember how we were talking about NDEs losing their fear of death?
Yeah.
Well, that often translates into a fearlessness in other areas of life, too. They're less afraid to take risks, to go after what they want, to speak their truth.
It's like that brush with the ultimate unknown gives them the courage to face all those smaller unknowns that life throws our way.
Precisely. And this newfound boldness, it isn't about being reckless. It's about living with this sense of purpose and authenticity. They've been given a second chance, in a way,
Right.
and they're determined to make the most of it.
So they're not sweating the small stuff anymore.
Yeah.
But what about the bigger picture? How do these transformations affect their relationships, their careers, their overall outlook on life?
Well, for many, it's like they're looking through a new lens. Relationships take on a deeper meaning.
Okay.
They're more present, more forgiving, more attuned to the emotional needs of others.
Right.
Careers that once felt fulfilling might suddenly seem hollow,
Yeah.
prompting a shift towards work that aligns with their newfound values.
So we might see a stockbroker turning into a social worker or a lawyer becoming a meditation teacher.
Exactly. It's not always such a dramatic shift, of course.
Right.
Sometimes it's about bringing that same sense of compassion and purpose to their existing roles.
Okay.
A CEO who starts prioritizing employee well-being, or a teacher who creates a more inclusive classroom environment. These subtle shifts can have a ripple effect.
It's like that Gandhi quote, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." These NDErs are like living embodiments of that idea.
And that's what's so inspiring about these transformations. They offer us a glimpse into what's possible when we tap into the best parts of ourselves, when we lead with love, compassion, and a deep respect for all life. And, this journey back from the brink of death that Cobbin describes, it can be challenging, but it's also a journey of profound growth, healing, and transformation, one that has the potential to change not just our own lives, but the world around us.
Absolutely. It's a powerful reminder that even in the face of death, there's always hope, always that potential for growth, for healing, for transformation. And that those transformations have the power to not just change our own lives, but to ripple outwards, touching the lives of those around us and creating a brighter future for all.
Well said.
And on that note, I think it's time to surface from this deep dive into post-NDE transformations.
It certainly has been a fascinating journey exploring these thought-provoking ideas with you.
Likewise. And to all of you diving deep with us today, we hope this has sparked your curiosity and maybe even inspired you to look at life, death, and the spaces in between with fresh eyes. Until next time, keep asking questions, keep exploring, and as always, keep diving deep.